So they actually have something made for that. It's just that I've never seen it. Ah, but Studiopolis, the very first of the original stages, and I'll have to agree with one thing that the people were complaining about, and this is a very mild complaint, let me tell you that much, but it's still a valid one nonetheless. There really should have been more of the original stages, but we can understand why they added more of the legacy stages rather than the original ones. It's because this is a celebration of the 25th anniversary of the franchise, and as such we would like to play a bit more safe and show that, well, they as in developers, they want to show that they can do something. We want to gain the trust of Sega, after all. At least that's how I see it, and well, the best way to do it is to play it safe, and they played it not only just safe but also quite nicely. I don't know about you guys, but I don't mind the abundance of legacy levels. I think they work just fine because, despite what it may appear, they're not all one-to-one recreations. They're actually, well, mostly original. Of all the zones, Act 1s are supposed to be, well, more or less similar if not the same as their original counterparts. But Act 2s, on the other hand, are meant to be more original, more fresh and different, you know. So they're not all recreations, they're not all carbon copies. And I think that the original zones are here to show that these guys know how to make levels. Because there is one thing that plagues, I think, the Sonic fan games, and that is, people don't really know how to make a good level, like a good zone. I don't like bringing this guy up as an example, but if you ever heard of Lake... Hey, what happened to the sound? What happened to the sound? It just cut out all of a sudden. Well, at least the music didn't cut out, so that's good. But yeah, I don't really like bringing this guy up as an example, but if you ever heard of Lake Feppert and his Sonic before the sequel, after the sequel fan games, you'll note that while the games are pretty damn good, they have one problem. The stages are too damn long. And unfortunately, our friend has never really gotten better. But I can't really blame him for it because, well, you can't be good at everything. That's just a matter of fact. Oh. Oh shit, I didn't know that was actually a bottomless pit. Well, color me surprised, I've never seen one of these in this stage. Let's not do that again. Shit. But yeah, he's not very good at making stages that are not as long as the ones he makes. Because the stages he makes often end up being about as long as like 6 to 7 minutes if you're going fast. So timing out is quite possible. Now, I personally like the longer stages, but that's just me, and I can see why people would dislike them. This problem persists, unfortunately, in his freshly made game Spark the Electric Jester as well, which is a bit of an issue. I mean, even I had a problem with those stages. I mean, at one point I was like, when will this end? And that's one thing you should never be asking yourself when you're playing a game like this. The stages just take too long to go through, no matter how fast you go, and that is a problem. But here the stages really work. Like even some of the later ones, like Oil Ocean or Titanic Monarch, even those are pretty fast. The slowest I've ever gone through was the first time around. It was like 7 minutes for Titanic Monarch, I think. But after that, I think I normally cap out at around 5 or 4 minutes. And for the last few zones, I think that's a pretty average length. And not a bad one either. Then again, some people will always insist that this game is all about being fast, and so it should be shorter, but I don't agree with that. I mean, if you've seen my playthroughs of Sonic 1 and 2, you'll know that my stance on this shit is that these games are not made to be, well, they're not made around the mentality of you have to go fast. Rather, it is built around the mentality that if you're good at the game, you are rewarded with being able to go fast. And that's a reward that I wholeheartedly approve of, because it is quite a nice reward. Being able to zoom past the stages that gave you so much shit in the past is so damn nice. It feels so great to be able to fly through that fucking lava reef or oil ocean or whatever the hell in just a couple of minutes. Or even less. If that's even possible, of course. It is a reward that is well worth seeking out. And I approve of it. But I love the fucking references in the background and everything. And I fucking love his boss too. Look at those fucking egg robos. I feel like if I'm gonna get a game over, they're gonna put me behind bars. There is a thing though about this boss fight that some people have brought up as a problem. And I kind of agree to it. When going up slopes and there's a rocket, when you have a rocket close to you, that you cannot actually hit, one of the bigger ones, and you're going up a slope, it is pretty hard to dodge it. However, I feel that this only applies to Sonic in particular, because he has no other way to get around it, except jumping. Whereas the other characters can just fly over the rocket, so that complaint doesn't hold up for those characters, only for Sonic. Even then, I don't feel like this is such a big deal, because it doesn't happen often enough, at least in my experience, where it would be a problem. Plus, if you jump at just the right time at the slope, you'll actually jump really fucking high and avoid multiple rockets at times. So, not a problem. But you know, this boss really looks familiar. In fact, it reminds me of a boss seen in Sonic before the sequel, where you had to hit rockets back at Robotnik in a fairly similar fashion, except the rockets were falling down from the sky rather than going along the road. I don't know if they actually pulled that idea from that game, or if it's something they just came up with and it came out very similar like this, but I approve nonetheless. It's a very fun looking boss fight, and it's a fun boss fight nonetheless. Beautiful. Those backgrounds though, I gotta say, those fucking backgrounds. Everywhere you go, you can just feel how much effort there was put into this game. The music, the graphics, the gameplay, everything is top fucking notch. There's hardly anything to complain about, if anything, I should say. And you know, I'm not exactly the person who has grown up with the series at all. Actually, I've only ever owned the first game on the Sega Genesis. And that's it. Oh shit! Damn! Ah! Damn! They fucking stole my money! Fuck you, Gallop Lottery! I've never had that happen. Son of a bitch. But yeah, I've never actually grown up with any of the particular series. I only had the first game, and I've seen Sonic Heroes on a magazine. That's about it. That's my extent of the experiences when I was younger. Nothing more. So I have almost no attachments to either of the series. I don't have attachments to the classic series or the modern series, or the adventure series as people call them. No attachments to anything, so I feel I'm actually benefiting from this more than others, because there is no particular bias or disposition that affects me. And as such, I'm getting the most out of this game. And that's great. But you know, the best way to get the most out of this game is to play it by yourself without getting spoiled. Now of course I imagine if you're watching this, you don't care for the spoilers. Because, well, why else would you be watching? Oh, I'm gonna watch a Let's Play, but I don't wanna get spoiled. Still, just stop, don't be stupid. Oh shit. But yeah, I really feel like you'll get the most enjoyment out of this game if you play it for yourself the first time around without knowing anything. Of course, at this point it may be a bit difficult to achieve that because the internet just couldn't shut the fuck up about this game. Seriously. The last 2 weeks of waiting were the worst, because everybody just couldn't shut up about this damn game. Oh, look at all these secrets, look at all these glitches, look at all this and that. Fuck! Just let me wait in peace! Not that easy to do. You can cheese this boss too, but hold on a second. This boss is pretty this boss is pretty cool actually, I gotta say. See, you have different weather effects to worry about. And you have to, of course, adapt to them accordingly. If there's a lot of wind, you gotta latch onto the bars. If there's a lot of heat, gotta stay underneath Robotnik's machine. And I think there's also lightning, but there's not much you can do about that. Not much to worry about. Yeah, here's lightning. Not much to worry about, it's just like lightning bolts will be striking down on the last position you were at. That's about it. But if you jump at Robotnik at just the right time, you can hit him without having to rely on any of the particular tricks. It's the same deal as Starlight Zone actually, you know, that seesaw boss. Also, I learned this recently from a different playthrough, but this screen is actually a reference to one of the Sega streams that was supposed to show off Sonic Mania, including the strange technical problems they had, like that buzzing sound they had. They even brought that in here. I would not have known about that because I didn't even know there was such a stream to begin with, or whatever. Now, if there is a zone that I didn't really care for at first, it's definitely this one. Well, this and Lava Reef, I gotta say, cause... well, Flying Battery is not a particularly interesting area for me. Neither is Lava Reef, but I'm not gonna complain about them a whole lot because I do like what they've done with them. Because you can feel right away, this is nothing like the original. For the most part, I mean, there are certain elements that will be the same as the original stage, but for the most part, this is totally fresh and new. And I approve. I don't really care. Oh shit, I went down again. Hey, this is actually a good idea, because I can show off some shit. And this is how I get here, from the other side. Oh, you might be wondering what's the point of going over here? Let me show you. Well, I was hoping not to lose my shield, but whatever. But you get speed shoes, that's about it. Not a very good trade-off if you ask me. I kinda prefer the shields. Don't hit that wall that shoots rockets. You will get hurt. Come on, here you go. I'm not falling for that trick, you stupid spike ball again. Stupid spike ball again. God damn it. The woes of not being an English speaking person and having been awake just for a few hours at most. Your grammar just kinda is still rebooting. But whatever, you get the idea. You know, like I was saying, I didn't really care for these stages, but I have grown to like them now because... well, because they're slightly different for one, so they're not, again, carbon copies, and again, they're really well made. I don't think this particular section was ever in the original Flying Battery, but, well, I may be wrong, I don't remember. Or no, for that matter. Same goes for Lava Reef, actually. I mean, it's not the kind of zones I was looking forward to, but then again, I didn't really have any particular zones on my mind that I was looking forward to. I was just interested to see what's gonna happen. For all I knew, it's gonna be all new stages with just maybe some legacy. Well, it was the other way around, but that's okay. Oh. This mini-boss is about to be utterly destroyed by the fact that I have an electric shield. Double jumping ruins this boss. And that's it. Oh man. And some people complain that the electric shield is bad in this area because you get magnetized. Man, that's the least of anyone's worries. Speaking of stages, actually, this game has 13 zones to play in, quite a bit. I think the only other game that has as many stages as this, if not a little bit more, is Sonic 3 and Knuckles. But that's because it's two games combined into one, you know? So, it kinda makes sense. In this case, it's a singular adventure. No need for lock-on technology or any of that shit. Which never really caught on, but whatever. I still need one more special stage. Hey, wait a minute! Speaking of tricks... It's okay, I don't need the shield, cause I just made a major skip! Hell yeah! If you got a shield, like an electric shield, or if you are capable of flight, depending on the character you have, I suggest doing what I did, cause that really saves you a lot of time. And in my case, I need all the time I can save, cause I'm on limited storage. I hate when that happens. Okay, how the fuck do you get inside there? Seriously, how do you get in there? I have no idea. But yeah, there's 12 zones to play through. Normally. A 13th zone unlocks once you have all the Chaos Emeralds. So, if you wanna see the true ending of the game, make sure to seek out the rest of those emeralds. I think I only need one more. And figuring out where that fucking last one is, not that easy. Because the special stages have been hidden so well that it requires quite a bit of searching to find them now. And you know what? I approve of this, because special stages before on Sonic 3, from what I've seen and played through myself, were ridiculously easy to find. And in this case, the biggest challenge is finding them rather than beating them. And in many cases, it's actually even more difficult to figure out how to get to them, because sometimes you can see them, but you have no idea how to get to them. You can't find a way into them. Shit. I thought I had an electric shield for a second. Nope. Oh, look at that speed, man. Look at that speed. Oh. Well, that was kind of short-lived, but whatever. There are several distinct pathways that you can take in this area. One goes below the ship, below the flying battery. And the other one that we are at right now is above it. We're right at the top of this thing, and I think it's generally the safer path to take, because there's a lot less bottomless pit to worry about, for one, and also there's no electric coils. In fact, if you go through here, you're never gonna see that mole guy that shows up on the flying battery, and never see the electric coils. I personally feel that that is perfectly fine, because I don't really like that place, but it's nice that it's there. I also want to address a little thing that people come up with. They say that the flying battery is actually like a place where the capsules are being made. I suppose it could be the case, but at the same time, I think that it's actually just like a big gunship that carries already pre-made capsules. Because I think you never get to see any of the in-between stages of the capsules being built. I think you just see them already finished and ready to launch. Which would make more sense now that I think about it, because for a gunship to have a full functioning factory, you need a pretty big gunship. And this is not a very big gunship, all things considered. And now for some more gushing about the music. The music is fucking great! God damn, T-Lopes, you goddamn done it! Seriously, the first time I heard the guy's stuff, I mean, it wasn't bad at all. It was pretty damn good, but I didn't really care for it. But nowadays, in this game at least, I can't get enough of it. Especially certain tracks like Stardust Speedway, The Boss, and Metallic Madness. That's gonna be fucking great. This boss is pretty cool, though I do have to say, doing this boss fight with your super form, kinda dangerous. I'll show you what I mean, but I won't actually sacrifice myself for that, just so you know. But the idea here is pretty simple. You wanna knock Robotnik's ginormous spider bot into the spikes. That's the only way you can hurt him. However, he has a bumper ball on his ass, and that can be kinda dangerous to work with, considering that it's a bumper ball ass. It can be tricky to get the hit on him, but as long as you can keep hitting it, you can stun him, and as long as you can keep shoving him into spikes, you can do it pretty easily. The biggest thing that is the biggest danger. Yeah, that is exactly what I want to say. No. The biggest danger in this stage is when you're in a super form, the spikes can crush you pretty easily.